A priest in white robes moves slowly, his expression distant, focused. Religion here is not separate from life. It is woven into it. The gods are everywhere, in statues, in shrines, in the stories told at night. At the summit, the air feels different, quieter, more deliberate. You stand before the Parthenon. Its columns are taller than you imagined, perfectly proportioned, yet subtly curved to correct the illusion of straight lines. Every detail has been considered, every stone placed with care. Inside once stood a statue of Athena, towering, radiant, made of gold and ivory. She is the protector of the city, the embodiment of wisdom and strategy. Athens belongs to her. From here you can see everything: the dense cluster of homes, the open stretch of the Agora, the distant line of the sea. Ships dot the horizon, bringing goods, ideas, and influence from across the Mediterranean. Athens is not isolated. It is connected. Its power extends beyond these walls, through alliances and tribute. Other city-states pay to be under its protection, some willingly, others not. This is the Athenian Empire, and it is both admired and resented. As you descend from the Acropolis, the tone of the city begins to shift. The brightness of midday gives way to a slower, heavier rhythm. People retreat indoors. Work continues, but with less urgency. In one home, a family gathers for a meal. The space is simple. A central courtyard open to the sky. Rooms arranged around it. The walls are plain but clean. A woman prepares food, bread, olives, perhaps a small portion of meat. Children sit nearby, watching, waiting. The man of the house returns. He has spent the morning in the Agora, discussing matters of the city. Now he eats. He speaks of politics, of rumors, of decisions yet to be made. The children listen. This is how knowledge passes, not through books alone, but through conversation, through presence. Elsewhere, in a workshop, a sculptor chips away at marble. Each strike is precise. He is creating something that may outlast him, something that will carry the ideals of this city into the future. Beauty matters here, not as decoration, but as expression. As the afternoon fades, the city begins to stir again. The heat softens, shadows lengthen, people return to the streets. Some head toward the theater. Set into the slope of a hill, the stone seats rise in a wide arc. Thousands can gather here. Today, a play will be performed. A tragedy, perhaps by Euripides or Sophocles. The stories are familiar: gods, heroes, fate. But each telling is new. Each performance explores something deeper about human nature. The audience watches, listens, feels. They see themselves in these stories. They confront questions of power, morality, suffering. The theater is not just entertainment. It is reflection. As the sun dips lower, the sky shifts to shades of amber and red. The city glows. The marble of the Acropolis burns softly in the fading light. But beneath this beauty, something else moves. Tension. A shadow. Far beyond the city, a war continues. The long and draining Peloponnesian War. Athens and Sparta locked in a struggle that will test both their strength and their ideals. News travels slowly, but it travels. Whispers of battles, of losses, of uncertainty. And closer still, within the walls, another threat begins to emerge. A sickness. At first, it is distant. A rumor, concern. But soon it will become something far more real. For now, though, the city continues. As night falls, oil lamps flicker to life. The streets quiet. Families gather indoors. Conversations soften. The air cools. You stand once more, looking out over Athens. It is beautiful. It is brilliant. It is alive with ideas, with ambition, with contradiction. A place where humans are trying, perhaps for the first time on this scale, to shape their own destiny through thought, through debate, through collective will. But it is also fragile, dependent on balance, on health, on unity. And as the darkness deepens, you cannot help but feel it. That this moment, this peak, is not permanent. That something is coming. Something that will test Athens in ways it cannot yet imagine. The light fades, the city rests, and history waits. The silence does not arrive all at once. It begins subtly, a cough in the distance, a pause in conversation, a door that stays closed longer than usual. The rhythm of Athens, once steady and confident, starts to falter. You walk the same streets as before, but something has changed. The air feels heavier now, not with heat, but with unease. Word spreads quickly, though no one fully understands what they are facing. A sickness has entered the city. It came quietly, carried through the crowded port of Piraeus, where ships from distant lands bring not only goods, but unseen dangers. At first, it is dismissed. Passing illness, a seasonal fever. But then the numbers grow. More homes close their doors. More voices fall silent. The Agora, once full of argument and laughter, begins to thin. Merchants still call out, but their voices lack conviction. Buyers hesitate. They look at one another with suspicion. Something invisible is moving among them. The symptoms are strange. Sudden fever, burning thirst, weakness that arrives without warning. Those who fall ill often decline quickly. Families gather, hoping for recovery. Many do not find it. This is the plague of Athens. It will reshape the city. You enter a home. Inside, the light is dim. A man lies on a simple bed, his breathing uneven. A woman sits beside him, holding his hand. She has not slept. A bowl of water rests nearby, untouched. There is no clear remedy. Physicians come and go, offering what knowledge they have. Some attempt treatments, others simply observe. Many of them fall ill as well. The very act of caring becomes dangerous. Outside, the streets grow quieter. Funeral processions, once orderly and respectful, become hurried, chaotic. The number of dead overwhelms tradition. Rituals are shortened, in some cases abandoned entirely. The city's sense of order begins to crack. You walk toward the Agora again. Where there was once debate, there is now tension. Groups gather, not to discuss philosophy, but to share fear. Rumors spread about the origin of the disease, about blame, about fate. Some turn to the gods. At small shrines, offerings multiply. Incense burns constantly. Prayers are whispered, then spoken aloud, then cried out in desperation. People seek meaning in suffering. They search for answers in signs, in omens, in dreams. But the gods remain silent. Others turn away. They question everything. If the gods allow this, what does that mean? If the city's greatness cannot protect it, what can? Faith and doubt begin to exist side by side, each growing stronger. And still, beyond the walls, the Peloponnesian War continues. Sparta watches. The enemy does not need to attack directly. The sickness weakens Athens from within. Resources are strained. Soldiers fall ill. Morale begins to erode. The strategy that once defined Athenian strength, bringing people within the city walls for protection, now becomes a source of danger. Crowded conditions accelerate the spread of disease. Safety becomes vulnerability. You climb once more toward the Acropolis. The Parthenon still stands, unchanged in its form. Its columns remain perfect, its presence commanding. But the feeling is different. Where there was pride, there is now quiet uncertainty. Offerings lie at the base of statues. Flowers, small tokens, whispered hopes. The figure of Athena watches over the city, unchanged, eternal. Yet below, her people struggle. You notice fewer visitors. The climb is less crowded. The priests move with a slower, heavier step. Even here, at the symbolic heart of Athens, the shadow of the plague is felt. Among those affected is a man whose name defines this era, Pericles. He who guided Athens through its golden age now faces the same uncertainty as any other citizen. His voice, once steady in the assembly, grows weaker. His presence, once constant, begins to fade. Leadership, like everything else, is vulnerable. His death marks more than the loss of a man. It signals a shift. Without his influence, the political balance begins to change. New voices rise, some driven by ambition, others by fear. Decisions become less measured. The unity that once defined Athens starts to fracture. You return to the streets. Daily life continues, but it is altered. Workshops remain open, though with fewer hands. The sculptor still chips away at marble, but his movements are slower. Perhaps he has lost someone. Perhaps he fears he will. In homes, conversations are quieter. Families stay closer together. Meals are simpler. The focus is no longer on growth or achievement, but on survival. Children sense the change. They ask fewer questions. They watch more closely. They learn not only from words, but from silence, from absence. In the theater, performances continue, but the audience is smaller. The stories of tragedy take on new weight. When characters speak of fate, of loss, of the limits of human control, the words feel closer, more immediate. The line between story and reality begins to blur. And yet, even now, Athens does not stop. Ships still arrive at Piraeus, though fewer than before. Trade continues, though cautiously. The city adapts as it must. Human resilience is quiet, persistent. You walk along the edge of the city, where the walls stand firm. Beyond them, the land stretches outward. Fields, hills, distant roads. Life continues outside, less crowded, less intense. But inside the walls, everything feels concentrated. Time feels different here. Days pass marked not by routine but by change, by who is still present and who is not. Gradually, slowly, the worst begins to pass. The number of new cases declines. The silence, though still present, begins to lift. Doors open again. People step outside, cautious, uncertain. The city inhales. Recovery is not immediate. There is loss everywhere. Gaps in families. Empty spaces in workshops. Voices that will not return to the Agora. The memory of the plague lingers, shaping behavior, altering perspective. But life resumes. Markets grow busier. Conversations return, though more measured. The theater fills again. The rhythms of the city begin to rebuild. Athens is changed. It has seen its own fragility. It has learned that power, wealth, and knowledge cannot control everything. That even at its peak, it is vulnerable to forces beyond its understanding. And yet, it continues. You stand once more at a familiar place, looking out over the city. The Acropolis of Athens rises above, steady as ever. The Parthenon catches the light, just as it did before. The streets below move with renewed energy. But now there is something else, a deeper awareness. The people of Athens carry forward not only their ideas, their art, their politics, but their experience of loss, of uncertainty, of endurance. The war is not over. The future is not secure, but the city remains. And in that persistence, there is meaning. Not perfection, not invincibility, but continuity. As the sun sets once more over Athens, the light softens across stone and skin alike. Shadows stretch. Voices fade into the evening. You listen. The city is quieter than before, but it is not silent. It is thinking again, debating, questioning, rebuilding, and perhaps more than ever understanding the cost of what it seeks to be. The darkness comes gently. The lamps are lit, and Athens, wounded, wiser, endures. The light arrives first. Soft, golden, and slow, it spills over the hills of Athens, touching marble, clay, and dust alike. The air is already warm. Somewhere in the distance, a rooster calls, a dog stirs, and then, almost all at once, the city begins to breathe. Imagine standing here. You are on a narrow street, uneven beneath your feet. The stones are worn smooth by generations. Around you, low houses cluster together, their walls sun-baked and pale. Wooden doors creak open. A woman steps outside carrying a clay jar. She pauses, glances at the sky, and disappears toward the nearest fountain. This is Athens in 430 BC, a city at its height, a place of thought, power, beauty, and tension. Above you, rising from the heart of the city, is the Acropolis of Athens. Even from here, it dominates everything. White stone catching the early light, columns standing in perfect lines. At its summit, the newly completed Parthenon gleams with quiet authority. It is not just a building, It is a statement, a declaration of wealth, of devotion, of identity. Athens is not like other cities. It does not bow to a king. It does not answer to a single ruler. Here, power is debated, argued, voted upon. This is the world of democracy, fragile, limited, but revolutionary. And at the center of it all stands a man, Pericles. His influence is everywhere, though you do not see him now. His vision shapes the stones beneath your feet, the temples above your head, and the confidence in the voices around you. But this morning, the city is not thinking about politics. It is thinking about life. As the sun climbs higher, the streets begin to fill. Men in simple tunics move with purpose. Some head toward the Agora, the marketplace, the heart of daily activity. Others carry tools, baskets, or scrolls. Slaves follow behind, silent and efficient, carrying burdens not their own. You walk toward the Agora. The space opens suddenly, wide and alive. Stalls line the edges. Merchants are already shouting, arranging goods, calling out prices. The smell is thick: olive oil, fresh bread, fish, sweat, and dust. A baker pulls warm loaves from a clay oven. The crust crackles as it cools. Nearby, a potter displays his work. Bowls painted with scenes of gods and heroes. A young boy traces the figures with his finger, eyes wide. Here, commerce is more than exchange. It is conversation. Two men argue loudly over the price of figs. Another group debates something deeper, law, perhaps, or war. Words matter here. Speech is power. Even the poorest citizen has a voice, though not all voices carry equally. You notice who is missing. Women are present, but they move quietly, quickly, often with heads lowered. Their world is mostly within the home. Their influence, though real, is unseen in these public spaces. And then there are the slaves. They are everywhere. They fetch water, carry goods, prepare food. They do the work that allows Athens to think, to create, to debate. Their lives are bound to others, their names often forgotten. This is the contradiction of Athens, a city of freedom built on unfreedom. As the morning deepens, the heat begins to settle. The light grows sharper, casting hard shadows beneath colonnades. You move toward one of these shaded walkways, where men gather not to trade goods, but ideas. Here, a philosopher speaks. He is not famous, not yet, but his presence draws a small crowd. He asks questions more than he gives answers. What is justice? What is virtue? Can truth be known? Some listen intently, others laugh. A few walk away, shaking their heads. In Athens, thought is not confined. It spills into the streets. Education is not just for the elite, though access is uneven. Boys learn to read, to write, to recite poetry. They study music, gymnastics, rhetoric. They are trained not only to fight, but to speak, to persuade, to lead. Because in this city, the spoken word can shape destiny. By midday, the Agora is at its peak. The noise is constant now, a living rhythm. Coins clink, voices rise, sandals scrape against stone. Above it all, the Acropolis watches. You decide to climb. The path is steep, winding upward through sacred ground. Pilgrims pass you, some carrying offerings.